It's the week of October the 19th, and this is 3 things for this week. Hey, this is Ken Hagler, your Alaskan Realtor, and I want to talk about something about life and enhancing home and enhancing your understanding of real estate here in Alaska. This is kind of my weekly vlog and kind of jumping back into things. My finger's healing better, but that actually has kind of led to what I want to talk about today in terms of enhancing home, but we'll get to that in just a minute. I want to jump into something that actually would be really helpful as you think about real estate. You may never have thought of this, and this last week I did a talk for my Toastmasters group here in Alaska, and the title of my talk really was Do. And what I was focusing on was something that I've learned is we've got to quit talking about things that we want to do, and we've got to start doing. It's like Luke said, or like Yoda said to Luke, "No, do or do not. There is no try." That's exactly how this goes. And the amazing part about this is the first time I came across this, looking back at history, came from Ignatius of Loyola, Saint Ignatius, who came up with, in discerning God's will, the idea of doing pros and cons. And this is something that's important when it comes to so many things in our life, and just taking time to take a piece of paper and writing out the positives and the negatives when you need to make a decision and you have a choice, and make sure then you can compare and see how things measure out. That simple thing is something that I've used throughout the years, people have used throughout centuries, and is something that as you make decisions as it relates to real estate, finance, life, jobs, careers, homes, making a simple pro and con list. If you've not been familiar with that, nobody's talked to you about that. That's something I want to put to you. And it's got a lot of history, a little bit of trivia. I don't know if you'd ever show up in Trivial Pursuit, that St. Ignatius of Loyola was the one that first put this into writing and introduced it. But just making a simple list of pros and cons can make all the difference in the world. Now I want to help you enhance your home just for a little bit. And it's a really simple thing. And on our other channel that my wife and I share, that is living in Alaska, actually it's Southern Fried, I can't even remember sometimes, Alaska Living Southern Fried, where we kind of played around with talking about living in Alaska. We've done some things related to our cabin. I've done a lot of videos related to cooking because I love to cook in cast iron. There's a whole nother story about that, but I have a number of shorts. I'm actually going to start working on a cookbook in doing things in cast iron, and sometimes that's real intimidating. Cast iron, I feel like it's kind of gotten a renaissance in essence, but a lot of times people are scared of it because they don't really understand it. But I just want to introduce you to one of my favorites. This is a 12-inch skillet that I got, and I recovered it, restored it. It was rusted. And one of the great things about cast iron, a lot of great things about cast iron, is that it retains heat well. It cooks evenly if it's a good solid piece of cast iron, but it can go easily from your range into your oven and back and forth. I use this to bake all different things in. It's great because you can cook things on your range and then take it and put it right in the oven. I've done cakes and pies in this. A 12-inch skillet can do so many things, and taken care of, it will last you your entire lifetime and beyond. Part of my history with cast iron is I use and have cast iron that were my grandparents, my grandmother's, and that's something that I'm going to be doing in my videos in the future. If you follow me on Facebook, is where I usually put my reels, and on Instagram, but I also put them on our YouTube channel over there. I don't put them on this channel. But if you check that one out, you can see some of those as well. But I'll be sharing some of those things. But if you haven't done this will enhance your kitchen. Yes, they do get heavy, which is always great to look for ones that have that extra little handle up here, even though it's not necessarily all that big. Make sure too, having with the little spigots on the side allows you to drain liquids out of it too. So just a simple way for you to enhance your home. And if you check out my recipes, you'll find a lot of different things that you can do that are real simple for that. Okay, finally, I just want to touch on, as you understand real estate here in Alaska, there's a really tight market here because of our remoteness in terms of being in Alaska. It's impacted things. There's actually an article that came out today in the Alaska Public News Source talking about the difficulties as far as it relates to rent and people running into that. And they talk specifically about how because of, since about 2019, we've seen a 30% increase in prices. That's common across the whole of the United States. But because of Alaska's uniqueness, again, because of our remoteness, that has made it difficult for building to take place the way that it may have in other places. We do have a shortage of contract labor, particularly those in the carpentry, framing skills, plumbing, electricians. If you're in those fields, I can tell you that there's a lot of work to be had. You can get up here working with the pipeline, particularly as it relates to electricians, but we have such a huge shortage there. People ask me all the time because of my video short about jobs that are hiring that were big this year. Well, I can tell you that those are a huge need within the state of Alaska. And because of that, though, it impacts a lot of different places. There's video out there. Nutty New has documented the housing tent population that is over near our Lusac Public Library here in Anchorage, and the shortage of housing and the difficulties that that's having to impact for cold winter shelters. But it's also impacting in terms of how in the battered women's community, unfortunately, because of relationship breakups, it's difficult for women to get into rental properties as well, and there's a shortage there. And certainly one of the biggest things would change all of this is if we had a bunch of new properties that were built. That doesn't seem to be happening right now. So as you think about real estate, as you consider getting into real estate and are looking at properties, keep those things in mind, that the market is tight right now, while at the same time this week I've seen consistently new homes come into market. There is an opportunity to get in the market. Sellers are eager to sell right now. Buyers eager to buy. New things are coming in the market, but termination dust is coming down. That means that window, if you're planning to move to Alaska, you can move anytime and you can come up the Alkane anytime, but it's a little bit more tricky. So keep those things in mind. I really encourage you, if you are looking at that and considering making moves, now is the time to reach out to a licensed realtor, somebody that's experienced, like our folks here at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. We'd love to help in any way you can. You can call me or message me or visit us at alaskahomesforsale.realestate. We would love to be able to help you get into your dream home. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, and whack that bell icon like we do salmon every summer here in Alaska.